Oh, my God. I feel like I'm at a nightclub like back in the 90s right now. I'm dancing like Sean Jr. going, yay, 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 yay. Well, the Saints were dancing last week, baby doll, in Atlanta, where they beat the Falcons 20-17. Did you think the Saints were going to win that game?
Yeah, I was pretty confident at that point because the game before, Drew Brees seemed to have it together more.
Oh, yeah, he really looked good against the Jaguars. Well, the New Orleans Saints up this record to 7-9, beating the Falcons on the road 20-17. A high-note victory. Finished strong, finally. The Saints kill the Falcons' playoff hopes with a season-sweeping 20-17 road win. And it was the sixth sweep of the season series in the Peyton Breeze era. They are 15-4, those two guys, against Atlanta. The Saints avoided giving them the Saints avoided getting their first 10-loss season, and Drew Brees threw for 323 yards. It was his 96th 300-yard game, the most in NFL history. Baby doll, Drew Brees look like the Hall of Fame quarterback he's supposed to be?
He sure did.
I mean, he sure does, too. I mean, oh, my God, what a great guy he is. He finished the season with the league-leading number one passer with 4,870 yards. His NFL record, 6th consecutive season over 4,500 yards. He has 7 seasons total at 4,500. Also, an NFL record. Baby doll, these numbers, passing Dan Marino, passing up Brett Favre, passing up Peyton Manning. I mean, do you think he needs more rings to back up his Hall of Fame career?
I mean, it would be nice, but I know he's going to go to the Pro Bowl a couple more times.
He should.
So.
This year he should. I mean, he's the number one passer in the league. He should go this year.
But I wanted to
yeah, you had
quick,
some info. Go ahead, baby. Do your thing, baby.
Back to the AGM Radio Network is where I'm going to have my
interview. That's right, because it's Baby
Monday.
Doll World, of course.
It's AGM Radio Network, and the show is called Gray Zone, and I'm going to be on air over there around 1:30 p.m. on Monday. So I'll have more information on the Facebook page.
Are they
and while you're at the Sports Guru Show's Facebook page, give us a like.
Are they interviewing you as a swimsuit model or as a Sports Guru Show host or as a TV star? What are they interviewing you for?
Well, it's the Gray Zone, so it's definitely a sports talk show.
Well, I mean, it's a gray zone area. I'm wondering what's going on. How do you get these opportunities, baby doll? What's up?
We met over Facebook. He was supposed
face
to be,
cracking. Face cracking.
He was supposed to be over at the NOLA Collector Show. He was going to have a booth over there, and that's how we met.
And we had one.
Yeah, we had one. So I'm going to be doing an interview on that talk show, and I'll have the link for you when I go on air.
What do you think this interview is going to consist of? Like, is he going to ask you about
We're going to talk about Sean Payton. We're going to talk about Drew Brees. We're going to talk about the playoffs. Right. And how...
Because you know about that stuff.
I do know about that stuff, and all of you people out there are about to know that I know about that stuff.
Because all I'm seeing is bikinis right now. I mean, Baby doll. I mean, so you're going to have your credibility as a sports journalist, as a sports person, as a Sports Guru Show host. Good for you, Baby D.
I know. So go ahead and talk about Drew.
Anyway, the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons played a game last week. It was almost a meaningless game for the Saints, but there's no meaningless games in the NFL, right, Baby D?
I agree with that.
Well, New Orleans improved, like I said, to 7-9 for the second straight year, under 500, but they won 3 out of the last 4, and they finished with the NFL's number 2 ranked offense. Baby doll, during the course of the season, did you think the Saints would finish with the second best offense in the league?
The offense, I didn't see a problem with the offense throughout the whole year. I did see problems with the defense, so, And it was what we did was too little, too late. Yeah,
there you go. That's what I was looking for. Well, let's talk about this game, Guru Nation. I want to get y'all a call in today at area code 985-643-1560. Let's talk about this Falcons game. On the opening drive, Breeze tried to hit Brandon Coleman deep, and that's Nathan's boy, Brandon Coleman. Of course, Nathan, our boy over at this Battle of New Orleans, is the president of Brandon Coleman's fan club. He tried to open up the game early, but the drive stalled, and the Saints had to punt. The Falcons easily moved the ball from their 11 to the 40 and converted on 3rd and 10 to the Saint 40, where after only reaching the 33, former Saint Shane Graham booted a 51-yard field goal to take a 3-0 early lead. On the ensuing kickoff, Travarius Cadet comes out of the end zone and races 37 yards to the 30 to give the Saints good field position, where he ran for 6, caught a pass for 36 yards, getting to the Atlanta 28-yard line. So here you got the Saints answering the call and moving the ball just as good as the Falcons were doing, where Breeze hit Ben Watson, that's right, our great tight end, for 22 yards on a 3rd and goal. and the Saints got a roughing penalty. First and goal soon after that, and Tim Hightower ran it in. Saints lead 7-3. And your boy Matt Ryan, maybe, dog, he exposed and exploited the Saints defense for a second consecutive drive using Julio Jones. And of course, that's your boyfriend, too. We know how much you love him.
MVP.
And
I want to give a shout-out to Watney Whit, Watney JJ.
And Devonta Freeman also got a 1st and 10 on the Saints 42, where Matt Ryan threw a 42-yard touchdown pass. I mean, this burning the Saints defense. Of course, the 31st ranked defense in the NFL. And 10-7 lead early in the second quarter for the Falcons offense and the Falcons team. And then Cadet, again, came out of the end zone with the ensuing kickoff and ran 38 yards to the 32-yard line of the Saints. Again, getting great field position for the Saints, where Breeze hit Hightower for 12. Coleman for 22. Cadet and Cooks also getting passes to the Falcons 13, where Breeze hit Ben Watson for a 13-yard touchdown and a 14-10 Saints lead with 10 minutes left in the half. Baby doll, here you see the Saints, which we haven't seen all year long, coming out strong early and not going down in 14-10 lead. I mean, how good is that to start early?
Yeah, I mean, I love getting that momentum, you know.
Yeah, we needed that because we hadn't got it all year long. With the great returner for the former Chicago Bear for the Falcons, Devin Hester, ran 22 yards with their next kickoff, and Matt Ryan again moved the Falcons easily to the Saint 27, where they had to settle for a field goal try, and the Saints blocked it. Baby doll, you've seen this before with the Saints. Blocking field goals.
I know.
And this year, I mean, it's a bright spot for that defense you mentioned.
Right.
You know.
But, well, this did happen after Rob Ryan left, so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's the second one he blocked after they left. Right. You're right. Well, taking over at his own 35, Breeze hit Hightower for 21 yards and Coleman for 13, where 3 plays later, on 4th and 1, the Saints drive stalled as they failed to convert. But that's guts, baby doll. Going forward on 4th and 1 instead of kicking a field goal, you got the lead. I mean, that's Sean Payton showing you that he's not scared to go for it on 4th and 1.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, hello. Atlanta, again, easily moved the ball down the field, going 83 yards and 9 plays for a touchdown before the end of the half, going up 17-14. So here's the Atlanta Falcons just showing how sad the Saints defense really is. Now, don't get me wrong. Atlanta's got Julio Jones. They got Devonta Freeman. They got Matt Ryan. But, you know, all the losses they took this year, you know, the Saints defense just let them walk up and down the field.
All right, so you remember that comment that people were saying, the Falcons beat themselves.
I
think that
hate
was
that.
The case on this
Absolutely
game?
not. The Falcons definitely didn't beat themselves. In fact, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about how they lost the game in the second half, and I'm going to tell you why. It wasn't because of the Falcons. It was because of the Saints' defense. But in the first half, the Falcons walked the dog on them. Now, that drive that the Falcons got a 17-14 lead on was aided by a 15-yard face mask penalty, which we've been plagued with all year long. These penalties. And that was on 3rd and 4, so the drive would have been stalled if it wasn't for this penalty. And I mean, they even lost the yard on the play. But here to come, okay, so the Saints are down 17-14 at the half. And Atlanta walked the dog up and down the field on the Saints. So it looked like the Saints' defense was going to be porous. But something happened, and of course, like you said, a little bit too late. In the second half, the Saints' D stopped Atlanta early, forcing a punt. But another roughing call, another penalty on 2nd and 20. Was almost kept the drive alive, but your boy Cam Jordan got a sack on 3rd and 8, killed the drive at the Falcons 47. So here you go. Saints defense in the first half just gave up everything possible. Couldn't even stop them. And here they are stopping them at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. And the Saints finally, which baby though, you know, all the turnovers we got this year, we could never capitalize on.
Right.
I mean, how many fumbles and interceptions that we get when we get 0 points?
Right.
Well, here you got a Saints stop. And the Saints capitalized on a defensive stop, going 65 yards and 12 plays using high tower runs, 2 deep passes to Snead, a defensive holding penalty, and a 12-yard pass to Cooks to get to the 41-yard line where Kai Forbath kicked a field goal, tying the score at 17. And 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. And here you go. The Saints, like I said, capitalized on a big baby doll. How many times have we seen that where we get a field goal and a fumble and we don't get no points? At least we got a field goal out of this one. Okay, well, fine. You know, you don't want a field goal. You want a touchdown.
Right.
That's what you're laughing about. I already know. The Falcons, again, easily moved the ball, getting a 12-man on the field call. How many times a year are we going to get that? The coaches can't count the players?
Oh, I know, right?
I thought that was a Rob Ryan thing.
I know, well, but you know what? The
One,
refs,
two,
the
three,
refs,
four.
there you go.
Yeah.
The refs, they should have seen that coming. I mean, how many times do they have to referee an NFL game?
I know. Well, the 12-man on the field call on a 3rd and 10, the next after they got the first down, here's the Falcons facing another 3rd and 10. But Matt Ryan hit James Hardy for 16 yards to the Saints 16, eventually threatening the score when they got to the 3. But the Saints defense, baby doll, here's the key to this, which you asked me before. Did the Falcons beat themselves? The Saints defense came up with another fumble recovery. Well, of course, last time it was a sack stop at the job, but this time it was a fumble recovery by John Jenkins, and the Saints regained possession at the 4. So, as it stands right here, third quarter, it looks like the Saints were beating the Falcons, not the Falcons beating themselves. But then you could say because they fumbled, they beat themselves, but maybe he got the ball knocked out from the defensive guy.
I got my own little take on it, and the only reason why I'm kind of sticking behind the Falcons is because
you
they
love
were
Julio
on
Jones.
my
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
team,
love
and I won
Julio
the Super
Jones.
Bowl with
Stop.
2 Falcon players.
Whatever,
so.
baby. No, nobody cares about your stupid fantasy football team. We're talking about the Saints and the Falcons last week. Anyway, the problem with that was after we got possession, last time we only got a field goal, but this time, after going 94 yards, the Saints went from their own 4 all the way down to the Falcon 3. The Saints gave up the ball on a cadet fumble, keeping the score tied at 17 with 6 minutes to play. So it looked like the Saints were beating themselves here at this point, but the score remained tied. Breeze converted 3 third downs on that drive and used Coleman and Snead effectively, but it was all for naught as the Saints come up with 0 points all the way down to the Atlanta 3-yard line. Well, the Saints defense held and forced a punt after 6 plays, that only got to the Saints 43-yard line, but the Saints couldn't move the ball again and punted to the Atlanta 24 with 1:40 left to play in the game. Now, here you got the game tied, 1 minute, 40 seconds left. But the Saints defense in one play, baby doll, here it is. This is the 3rd time that the Saints defense stepped up in this game. Interception. Safety Jamalka Stanford at the Falcon 24-yard line. Baby doll, this defense all year has not allowed us to win any games. In fact, they've lost a bunch of games. But here you got them giving up all of these yards in the first half, and now you got 3 stops. But it's still tied, 17-17, late in the 4th quarter. Saints got the ball, Falcon 24-yard line. Tim Hightower runs for three times to the 8-yard line where Drew Brees knelt, and 3 seconds left, Kai Forbath kicks the winning field goal. Game over. Saints win. I think the Saints beat the Falcons. I don't think the Falcons beat themselves.
Okay, so I'm going to defend Matt Ryan a little bit.
Well, he had a great game.
Because everybody.
But he threw an interception late in the game to lose.
He does that a lot.
How you going to defend that?
Because, all right, Matt Ryan might be throwing too many interceptions because of Kyle Shanahan's bad calls.
Yeah.
Ryan don't throw short 10 routes. So 10-yard routes, so they get picked off.
Right.
So he needs to.
He's better
throw
stretching it down the field. I got you.
I
hear you. He would. And maybe that's the reason they might have lost that game because they didn't have a lot of long passes.
They had no O-line, and they're plagued with injuries right now, just like we were in a little bit. Finally, all our players got healthy.
Yeah, and they've been like that all year long for the Falcons. But
and you know what? The Falcons all season lost by 4 points or less. So
wow, and they started out so good, but we ended their winning streak.
We swept them.
Yeah, we were at the game when we beat them when they were undefeated, and here they are losing to the Saints again. Drew Brees was 32 out of 42.
Are you getting bored with that, though?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point because a lot of people say, remember we read some article last week that said get used to like the sweeping the Falcons being a highlight of your season. I don't think that's going to be the case anymore, though. I mean, we're going to talk about the Saints' future soon.
Okay, so, all right, someone said another wasted season for New Orleans and Drew Brees, who takes the consolation prize with more personal stats.
That's a low blow for Drew Brees.
You will eventually eclipse all the time records, no matter how many were achieved in garbage time.
Whatever. That was not garbage time. They were playing to win the game.
When I read that, I was like, OMG. I had to say it over and over.
Well, like I said, Drew Brees was 32 out of 42. He wasn't sacked. Tim Hightower did gain 4.1 yards a carry. Brandon Coleman had 81 yards, his best output of the season. Travis Cadet had 6 catches for 77 yards and averaged 37.5 yards on kickoff returns. Baby Doll's boyfriend, Matt Ryan, had 334 yards passing. Devonta Freeman, also a member of Whop Me, JJ, only averaged 3.4 yards a game, which is good for the Saints because they've always allowed everybody to average 5 yards a game.
Doesn't matter. He was very consistent throughout my season.
Well, he wasn't consistent against the Saints, and that's what we needed to do to end on a high note. Julio Jones, on the other hand, who didn't show up too good against the Saints in the Superdome in the first meeting, had 9 catches for 149 yards and really showed up, but he did not get a touchdown. The Saints held him out of the end zone.
But he moved